How to do API integrations with N8N. This example is sending price updates for products into a point of sale software called Retail Express. But the process is the same for most other softwares that provide API keys. So this little flow here is to show the specific API request parts. So the items we'll be putting into the API are just hard-coded into this JavaScript node. In real life, it would be bolted onto the end of a full workflow like this, where the prices were pulled from an email attachment all the way back here. But I'll explain how it's integrated into this workflow at the end of the video. So to make this work, you will need your data formatted into JSON. I can see the output from this node here has one array. This one section here is one product. So you got the product ID here, your SKUs, your size, color, and your buy price. The main ones I'm going to use in this automation is your product ID, so you know exactly which product you're changing the price of, and the buy price XGST. And in this example, there's 10 items, so there's 10 different arrays of products in here. And you'll see in the flow it's got 10 items coming out to loop into here. And you'll see before this node there is a token request node. Now the reason I've put it before is that you've got to be thoughtful where you put some of these nodes. So you see where the products are coming out, there's 10 different items. Now if I had this node after it, it would try run this node 10 times, which you don't need to run 10 different requests for a token. You only need to run one. That's why I have it before the node. Once you have your token request and your products, then this next one is a loop over. So when sending requests to other sites, they will have a limit on how many requests you can send per minute, per an hour, or per day. And on the information sheet here for Retail Express, it's got its limits as 300 requests per minute, and on average that's 5 requests per second. Some price update sheets can have up to 300 to 400 products. So to make sure you don't send all 300 or 400 at a time, you add in a loop over item here and have it set to a batch size of 1. So then it will run one request at a time. So then I'll run one item through here, which is your put request. And then I've set a 1 second wait before it goes back and runs the next one. That way, at the most, it'll send one request per second, which gives you a safety barrier if there is any issues. So now the put request here. So put request is how you can update certain parts in a software. So you can see the inputs here. We have our product ID and our buy price X here. You'll need the URL from the software you're using, and it'll ask for 2 types of security parameters. So the first one here, this was the token that you requested on the previous node. You can see here I've referenced it back to that node, and then down the bottom you can see some of the token code that it has sent through. And then the next one it'll ask for is the API key. That'll allow N8N to push the products into their software, and you can see on the right here that it's updated the buy price right here, and it's referenced the product ID here, which matches over here, so I can find that specific product to update. Now down the bottom here it shows what section you want to change. So we're going to change the supplier buy section as well as the buy price section. They will both be using the number from here, 20.7. So to show this workflow in action, we're logged into the Retail Express software here, and you can see for product 139739, the supplier buy price is $25.70. Now if I run this one, it's going to change it to $20.70. So I'll run execute workflow, and you can see it's asked for a token request. It's pulled out the products we want to change, and now it's running through the price update request one at a time. Once all 10 items are done, we'll go back to here, and once the page is reloaded, the price has been changed to $20.70. Now going to the full production workflow, I've done a whole video explaining this section here. So where it's been integrated is this section here where these nodes are only outputting one item. I've put it in there before all the products, just so it only runs through that item once. And then this node here shows all the products that need to be updated in the software. And you can see this batch here, there was 123 items that were updated. What will also happen is this node will run through as many products that there is. Down here where you have the reference for that token, you'll add in a little section here where it's got dot first bracket bracket. And that's to make sure that even though this node can run hundreds of times, it will only worry about the first output it receives from that node, as that node will only have one output from it. Now that was it for API integration. I hope you guys found that helpful. If you guys have any questions or any requests for future videos, don't be afraid to leave a comment or message me.